Hi friends, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to cut fabric with a cutting mat, an acrylic ruler, and a rotary cutter. Now your rotary cutter is a really sharp tool, so be very careful. It has a razor blade on it and it is razor sharp. You know, people get cut really bad, cut pieces of their fingers off sometimes with these, so again, be really careful. Even if you've been sewing for a long time, you know, just use caution. Okay, so we're going to get started. Now this is your cutting mat, and there are different brands in these, and this is just one of the smaller ones. For the video, I'm just using my smaller one. It's kind of old and worn, but it works still. So you know, I have a bigger cutting mat that I use when I'm actually doing my quilting and sewing and stuff, but for now this one's going to work for the video. Your rulers will come in a variety of lengths and widths, and you want a ruler that is it's better to have one that stretches all the way across your cutting mat. And if you notice here, the grids on your ruler line up with the grid on your cutting mat. And the black line here, you can see this black line, that is going to line up perfectly with the black lines on the mat. Just like that. And that is what is going to tell you whether your cut is going to be straight or not. You know, if you're off a little bit like that, you can see there that's not lined up. Now there, that's, you know, that's lined up really well. So you know, you want to watch that when you're making these cuts. Now let's talk about fabric, and this is just a fat quarter, but for the video we are going to pretend that this has come off the bolt. And of course I would iron this. You know, very important to always iron your fabric first. I just didn't take time to do it for the video, but you would absolutely iron your fabric. Now your selvage edge is here. And if this was had come off a bolt of fabric, your other selvage edge would be here, along here. And these would be, this would be folded in half, just like this. Now, I could get away with cutting this piece with the mat and the ruler that I have here. But if your piece of fabric, you know, was bigger, was wider, just say that it's wider than your cutting mat, you would take your fabric and you would fold it in half like this, and you would line your edges up as well as you can over here. Okay, now when you have this folded like that, you're going to lay your folded edge on one of the lines here, that, you know, one of these lines that goes across. And on this end up here, or the end that you're going to be cutting on, now I am left-handed, so for you right-handers, you would be working this way. Okay, so you would line your fabric up here, and then you would lay your ruler down to make your cut. But for me, this is how I do it, because I'm an old lefty. Okay, let's get this lined up. All right, that looks pretty good. Now we're going to lay our ruler on, and we're going to match up our lines on our ruler. And we're going to make our cut, and you come over here and put your blade right at the edge of your ruler. Okay, and leave your finger on the top. It just seems to be less stressful, and going away from yourself, you would make that first cut. And I find it helpful if I leave my finger or maybe two laying over here. It kind of helps me to keep the ruler from sliding around. Now you can get some little silicone pieces that they're designed just for acrylic rulers, and you can stick them on the back, and that keeps your ruler from sliding around. So I have some, I just haven't put them on here yet, not on this ruler. So anyway, there is your first cut. Now we're going to be doing a 4.5 inch block for a pot holder over on in my Facebook group, Down a Country Lane. We're going to be making a 4-patch. So your quilt block would be cut to 4.5 inches, because you have a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around your block. So that is going to be, you add a 1/2 inch this way and a 1/2 inch that way, for a 1/4 inch here, 1/4 inch here, 1/4 here, 1/4 here. Okay, now let's go on down here. Now you're going to count down 1, 2, 3, 4, and these little dots right here, that is your 1/2 inch. So you find your 1/2 inch mark, and then you'll find that even the little yellow lines here line up with the black lines, and so you will know that you're lined up really well. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Okay, so let's lay the rotary cutter right up against and make the cut, just like that. Okay, now there's what you have. Now to cut the rest of your blocks, you can come over here, line this up again on your mat, and pull it down here. You don't want to waste a whole lot of fabric. Okay, now guys, the reason I'm having to hold this and kind of be fussy with it here is because I didn't iron it. So as I said, you guys would definitely iron. Now you're going to come over here and cut the selvage edges off. Okay, put that ruler up there. Okay, just like that. Okay, now we're going to count this way. Let's count down this way. 1, 2, 3, 4.5 inches. Line it up and make that cut. Okay, so there you have cut 2 quilt pieces already. Now you can move it on down here. Now if you don't want to move your fabric and readjust it, remember this is a 1/2 inch. Okay, so don't start here thinking this is an inch. I've done that before. So anyway, you would start with your 1/2 inch, and you would count 4 over. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then your 1/2 inch. And then you would make your cut down here. So I hope that helps you learn a little bit about the rotary cutter and the acrylic ruler and the mat. Now, as I said, there are different brands out there. If you guys get into quilting, just make sure that you use your coupons from Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Joann's. They have really good sales. A lot of times they do 40, 50, 60% off sometimes, and so you can get really good deals if you just be careful. I've gotten a lot of stuff over the years, but I don't have near as much in it as what the original prices were, because I always use a coupon. And I'll wait until something comes on sale. If I want it, I'll just wait it out, so I don't spend so much money on it. Now, this is the method that I was taught by a real sweet lady years ago, when I was wanting to take my quilting to that next level. I was in a group of ladies, a group of quilters, and we had a real sweet lady. Her name was Shelba, and she taught me how to use the acrylic ruler and the cutting mat and the rotary cutter. And she's one of the best. She is a very, very good seamstress and quilter. So, you know, this is a big shout out to her. You know, she taught me something years ago, and now I'm passing it on to you guys. So that's how it should be. So until the next time, you guys be blessed and happy trails.